how useful or how useless social media will be in the Philippines. So far, it's been useful because we're so interconnected with each other. Your generation can do things with this that my generation only dreamed about. But you must have the courage to police it yourself and to actually act on it. We can do things now we couldn't before, and it's both in the micro and in the macro. Learn the technology. Technology can help.
Thank you very much, Ms. Maria Ressa of Rappler. And as she mentioned, it is very important that we be familiarized with different kinds of the hazards in our communities, and at the same time, we tap technologies and our creativity in identifying these hazards. That's why it is very timely that the Climate Change Commission has partnered with an organization in a competition.
So to launch the Greeneration Maptastic contest, may we call on Mr. Miguel Meñez of the International Organization of Migration Philippines. Let's give him a warm round of applause.
Hello. Hi, good afternoon everyone. Kamusta kayo? Okay pa? Yeah? Are you sure? Yeah? Okay. All right. So again, my name is Miguel Meñez from the International Organization for Migration. And I'd like to tell you about the Greeneration and Maptastic Creative Mapping Contest that will be starting in partnership with the CCC before the end of the year. But before that, I want to talk about one of my childhood idols. Next slide. Next slide, please. Okay, so, does this image remind you of anyone? Kilala niyo ba to? Sino? Sino siya? Captain America? Hindi, no. Ano? Captain Planet. Yeah, exactly. So, may mga ka-age pala ako dito. So, this is Captain Planet. And next slide. The people next to him, do you remember what they're called? The Planeteers. Oh, tama. Okay, so the Planeteers. So together, they fought against people who tried to ruin the environment. Tapos si Captain Planet, actually medyo mahina siya kasi konting pollution lang or trash, nangihina na siya. But I really enjoyed watching this show when I was young. I remember at the end of every episode, meron silang small segment where they would show you practical things that you could do in your own life to reduce your impact on the environment. So an example of that is using sponges instead of paper towels to dry things off, or repairing your clothes instead of using them. So from Captain Planet and his friends, I learned a lot of things, like, next slide. I learned about recycling, next slide, conservation, and next slide, and other ideas on environmental protection. It was probably the first time that I encountered these ideas when I was young. So even better, I learned that I don't need superpowers to make changes in my life for the better of the environment. What I do need, though, is education. I need to know about things like climate change, global warming, and other issues. So that's the idea that the Greeneration and Maptastic Creative Mapping Contest builds on. Next slide, please. That education is important, because how are we going to change our behavior if we don't know about these things? So next slide. The contest will invite groups of high school students. May mga high school student ba dito? I know a lot of you are from college. Meron ba? Raise your hand. I just want to see how many. Okay. Oh, yun. All of them? Oh, so marami rin. Okay. And we will ask them to make creative maps of their barangays. Next slide, please. So we want you to tell us about the cool things that you can find in your communities, and more importantly, the parts of your community that might be affected by climate change hazards. So aside from having you make a nice map of your community, we'll have you also write an essay telling us about yung vulnerabilities ng communities, yung strengths, and if your community is already doing something on climate change mitigation or adaptation. Tas kung wala, you yourselves can suggest to us what your community can do to act. So why is this useful? First, by going through the actual mapping process, the students are exposed to ideas of climate change and other climate change issues. And second, the map that you create can be used as an awareness tool by your community. So you could hang it up in school or around your barangay to help expose people to these ideas. Next slide. So we'll be partnering with teachers and cooperating with LGU officials to help us with the competition. We're going to be coursing the information through your schools, through high schools, as well as some educational materials so that you'd be more informed about the issue. And we'll be coordinating with mga LGU official to help validate the maps, to help verify that everything that's there is true. And once this is done, next slide, a panel of judges will select the best map based on accuracy, creativeness, and relevance. And of course, the winners will receive a special prize. Next slide. So that's the contest in a nutshell. We look forward to seeing some really creative maps, some really good submissions. So just stay tuned. We'll be starting the contest through schools by the end of the year. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Menyes. Information will be posted at the website and social media accounts of the Climate Change Commission.
And at this point, we will be entertained by talented performers from the Youth for Environment in Schools organization, or YESO, of the Infant Jesus Montessori Center, Dasmariñas, Cavite. Let's give them a warm round of applause.
Infant Jesus Montessori Center Youth for Environment in Schools organization, or the IJMCSO, is an environmental student organization committed to nature preservation through knowledge and student empowerment. Our mission is to increase youth awareness on various environmental issues through social networking and be one with other environmental units with similar aspiration, to create and organize a range of projects and advocacy that would address the different ecological challenges, and to take the necessary actions that will guarantee a safe and viable Earth for future generation. So without further ado, please welcome the IJMC YESO Apolaki.
Gising na o kaibigan, mundo na'y pangalagaan, ating iligtas, kinakalikasan sa kapahamakan. Huwag na tayong mag-alinlangan, bagkus tayo'y magtulungan. Ating kapaligiran ay mahalin at pangalagaan.